South Dakota, Subaru doesn't have plans to get a segment subcompact any moment in the near future. That is not necessarily a bad thing, even when the subcompact crossover would be the segment another automaker that isn't Awachi there exists racing to penetrate. Subaru may be there for 6 years, in their own quirky way. The new 2018 Subaru Crosstrek, a model that entered the U.S. market since the 15 Crosstrek for that 2012 model year, is dependent on the 2017 Impreza, a compressed sedan hatchback directly GPS unit perfect latest Honda Civic. That should have the Crosstrek a principal competitor for that Honda CR-V as well since the segment's new sales leader, the Nissan Rogue. But as the Crosstrek is, mainly because it always is, basically a jacked-up Impreza with additional Series 4-season tires and fender cladding, not an SUV on a small car platform as well as its own blown-out towfit, it happens to be a tweener, with just single 2-inch improvement in wheelbase, 0.6-inch rise in overall length, and 0.9-inch wider body compared to the model it replaces. It's 63.6 inches tall, like the standard roof rack. More importantly, the revolutionary taillamp design allows to get a wider rear aperture to learn effectively to fit bicycles and the like in back. And in order that it feels and drives much tighter and sportier than all of its main competitors, in the Jeep Renegade and Compass for the Honda HR-V and CR-V. Subaru benchmarked the Mazda CX-3 and BMW X1 for dynamics, and the revolutionary Crosstrek is significantly superior about the road towards the Beamer, at the very least. If you really need a concise SUV as capacious like a CR-V or a Rogue, there's always the widely used Forester, that may become the fourth model to adapt Subaru's global platform meant to accommodate all future compact and midsize models. The platform also is meant to accommodate gas engine powertrains, plug-in hybrids and electric vehicles. A Crosstrek PHEV is rumored from the 2019 model year. Subaru is like to show off this cost-effective proceed to a single platform, which launched this past year with the newest Impreza. It makes the modern Crosstrek 1.4 times stiffer compared to Mark I Crosstrek using a 70% rise in torsional stiffness, and carries expectations for top-level safety ratings in the National Highway Transportation Safety Institute plus the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, the same as its more low-slung sibling. Subaru's new Ascent makes its debut later this fall because third model on the revolutionary platform, while XT and Legacy Outback arrive after the 2019 Forester. The Crosstrek's new suspension features McPherson struts front and also a double wishbone rear. It has a 13:1 steering ratio, approximately the same as inside BRZ and a lot of quicker versus the 15 Crosstrek's 16:1 ratio. The new steering provides for fewer correction inputs midterm, Subaru says, yet it's stable enough to own none in the twitchiness you don't want in a very tallish crossover utility. All Crosstreks are available with standard torque vectoring. The master cylinder and brake booster has become revised, and Subaru says it took equally of unnecessary tolerance out on the brakes for the more linear, more connected feel. All this adds up to a subcompact compact crossover that's as rewarding and fun to drive through tight twists and turns as being the best modern compact cars. Keywords listed below are tight twists and turns, since the engine, which is mostly new, is not a willing partner such endeavors. The updated FB 22.0-liter naturally aspirated flat mounted 10mm lacking in the chassis versus the first Sword model, presently has direct gas injection as well as a 12.5:1 compression ratio, to provide 4 horses and keep the 145 lb-ft torque figure. The torque is fed using your choice of a redesigned continuously variable transmission with wider ratio coverage and also a lighter, smaller torque converter, or perhaps a 6-speed manual transmission, one cog more than the modern Impreza and also the old 15 Crosstrek manual. The manual is standard around the base and premium trim levels, whilst the CVT is optional for the base for your first time, as well since the premium, which is standard around the top spec limited. Neither transmission are able to do much to the 152 horsepower H4. Torque looks like it's hiding before you reach nearly 4,000 revolutions per minute, and both my drive partner and I did plenty of rowing for the morning portion with their road test within a cool gray khaki sort of baby blue 6-speed premium. The handling feels tight, with compliance generous enough to allow for significant roll inside the corners, but in addition with not much understeer as well as a willingness to rotate till the vehicle dynamic control trick vectoring, which is why we found no defeat switch catches it. Steering is remarkable, with feel, feedback and precision as well as anything within the market, along with the brakes are strong and effective. The pedals permit easy heel anting. The H4 is more preferable matched while using CVT. I concede to my drive partner, higher standard paddle shifters for the column if you need to shift through 7 gears, steps, alone there's no floor shifter redundancy, move that shifter in the manual gate there's no toggling except for that paddles. The CVT also is sold with optionals mode system for better treating loose and slippery surfaces, and hill descent control which nicely replicates driving down steep off-road hills in first gear using the manual. Subaru provided a brief quarry course, which displayed the hill descent control's smooth confidence, as effective as any Land Rovers at twice the value. More than that, the quarry's steep, loose rocks, around, reminded me how the Subaru Crosstrek, which features minimum ground clearance of 8.7 inches, is a lot more off-roadable than any B or C segment crossover competitor I can imagine. The downside is how the Limited comes standard with 18-inch wheels, which aren't as comfortable over bumps and uneven off-roads as being the 17-inch wheels, what are only choice within the base and premium trims. More necessary for my antediluvian manual gearbox obsession, get the job done 6-speed isn't likewise matched for the underpowered flat 4, it's still a lot more fun. Working the manual certainly doesn't do just about anything for fuel mileage, which Hawachi reaches a disadvantage versus the CVT, nevertheless it does amplify the H4's throaty exhaust noises. On a several tight dirt and gravel roads inside the morning route, the manual could possibly be made to dance round the corners as an early WRX. In fact, the reduced torque coming from tight second gear corners reminded me in the first WRX imported here, while they had 227 horse turbos. These were a certain kind of road, during which I kept it in both third and, mostly, in second, with all the momentum with the turns to help keep the revs up. Subaru says 6 to 7% of 201,217 15 Crosstrek buyers preferred 3 pedals, not necessarily a bad number, but one that forces the automaker to severely limit options around the manual gearbox base and premium for production efficiency. Many in the standard and optional features about the Limited, that include an 8.0-inch multimedia display, keyless entry with push-button starter, optional EyeSight safety package with adaptive cruise control, automatic pre-collision braking, lane departure and sway warning, navigation and high beam assist, are available around the CVT Premium, yet not the manual Premium, nor the manual or CVT base. Stick-shift customers may not care about that. Nevertheless they can't have a sunroof or Harman Kardon audio around the manual Premium, while they're both available around the CVT Premium. It's the cost to pay, if not more accurately, not pay, in order to obtain the most fun to-drive affordable small crossover about the market. 2018 Subaru Crosstrek specifications. Price $22,710 base. Engine 2.0 liters DOHC 16 valve flat 4152 HP at 6,000 revolutions per minute, 145 lb-ft at 4,000 revolutions per minute. Transmission continuously variable. Layout 4-door, 5-passenger, front engine, AWD SUV. EPA mileage 232,729 miles per gallon city hui. LXWXH 175.8 by 71.0 by 63.6 inches, wheelbase 104.9 inches, weight 3,1423, 230 pounds, 060 miles per hour, 10.3 seconds, top speed. Nah.